Hey, good morning, everybody. Keith from Crypto Coin Mindset, now here with you on the Matrix Money Podcast. And as always, got FF in the house. So as you're jumping in, don't forget F plus in the chat. And we are very fortunate today to have a special guest, Paula Guilfoyle. And we're going to let her do a lot of the talking today because she's got some stuff I think everybody needs to hear. But before we kind of get to that, let's see who's jumping on in right now and say hey real quick. Let's see. We got Automatic Beats in the house. Welcome, Automatic Beats. Glad to see you here. Yes, and guys, that's a good point. Don't forget, ask whatever questions you'd like. And yeah, and there's, look at that. See? F plus. Keep it coming, guys.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Awesome. So you know what? Let's get this thing going because I want to be cognizant of everybody's time here. Paula, welcome. Appreciate having you here. Why don't you kick us off by telling us about you and your experience in crypto, and take it away.
Take it away. Okay, you might have to stop me because I might go on for a little bit too long. Hey, everybody, and welcome from Ireland. It's the middle of the afternoon here in Ireland. My name is Paula, and I'm the founder of A Block of Crypto, and give you a quick introduction of what A Block of Crypto is, and then I'll tell you kind of how I got there. A Block of Crypto, we onboard and retain users in the Web3 industry. We focus on end users. We don't focus on developers. We help to bring grannies to Web3 to help them get their wallets and help all users of all levels. And we've lots of courses there that are free. Our website, you're currently shown there. We are actually upgrading, and we're going to have an amazing gamified app launching at the end of the year. But all our courses and training is free there. So just a bit of background then on myself. I'm in online education since before we had online education, when we had CD-ROM. When Udemy came along, I joined the Udemy revolution of online learning, and I quickly became a Udemy top-selling instructor. On Udemy, I don't know, I probably have about 130,000 students on Udemy. I branched out across different learning platforms as well. There's the likes of Allison.com. I have a similar, if not larger, number over there. There's FutureLearn, there's Skillshare. There's quite a few of them, and on each one of them, I'd have quite a large following of students. Sometimes I wish I put the effort into YouTube rather than them, but I guess it depends on, it kind of depends on what you're looking for. I used to teach Microsoft Excel to accountants, to professionals. That was my skill. And in around 2016, 2017, lots of things happened on the internet. I was a content creator. I had a fantastic blog. It was a top 200,000 blog per Alexa rankings. And just the web industry changed considerably around 2016, 2017. There used to be a platform called Google Plus, if anybody remembers it. Google Plus closed down, and anybody that ran a community on it were given an option to move their community and given the time to do it. But once you set a community up somewhere, it's kind of almost impossible to move the community. So I lost a community because of a centralized organization deciding they didn't want that product anymore. At the same time as that happened, Udemy was my main revenue. I was earning lovely lifestyle income from it, and they switched their policies overnight. Again, central organization. Okay, they went from selling courses at $200 a pop to we're heavily discounting everything to a tenner, and you're not getting very much out of that as an instructor. And I ended up coming out with $250 per student on Udemy, from almost 150 per student on Udemy overnight.
Wow.
There's things that happened to me. Google deranked my blog because I removed Google Ads. I no longer needed Google Ads, so Google deranked me. I start getting messages from people telling me, oh, wow, Paula, I bought your course on LinkedIn. And I never sold courses on LinkedIn. LinkedIn were using my content to promote their new learning platform, and people thought they were
really?
courses. So I had all of these episodes happen to me because I'm giving content to the internet and trying to share, educate, and advise people. And the centralized organizations, as soon as I got to a certain size, shut me down. They just shut me down. So I went in search, and this is common for content creators on the internet. This is so common. This is not a unique story by any means. But with all that happening, we had the 2016, 2017 bull run. And I was very aware of Bitcoin. I was aware of crypto, and I went in search of a new way of doing things. And I came across a video from Gavin Woods talking about Web3 and this ideology of this decentralized world and all of this. And the ideology of Web3 was so what I was looking for. So I tried to find a blockchain that was actually implementing it because they weren't. And I found a blockchain called Steam.
Yep.
Steam was a blockchain where you could post content and you could earn from your likes. Likes meant tokens. And I says, right, I'll give this a go. And I was blogging away and I wasn't getting much traction. And then I realized, well, hold on, I'll flip my skills. Instead of trying to teach people about Excel, let me use Excel and Power BI and all these other tools that I teach to actually analyze the blockchain and start reporting on the blockchain. So I totally pivoted what I was blogging about, and I started blogging about the blockchain. And from that, because I was analyzing the data, I started understanding blockchain. Grew in popularity, set up a witness node. It was delegated proof of stake. Set up a witness node. That was all going really, really well. It was the only crypto I was involved in. Huge community. And then Justin Sun came in and bought Steam at Inc.
Yep.
Bought stake that was never meant to be used for voting and voted out of all the community voted in witnesses. There was a huge, obviously, tear on the chain because of this. The chain got forked in the end. The fork, which is called Hive, is the only fork of a chain that's ever outperformed its original chain because the whole community moved with it. But then I kind of realized, well, look, I want to find out more about this. Who else is doing this? Because that put a dampener. Somebody with loads of money came in and bought it. That's not decentralization.
Yeah,
right. Now I'm just involved in everything. I eat, sleep, breathe, drink crypto, Web3, future tech all day long.
Nice. That's a bit of a journey, but I'll tell you what, it's probably shaped your complete outlook on the space as a whole, I would think, right?
Totally. It's been a crazy journey from knowing nothing to now knowing enough to be teaching other people comfortably, bringing people into the space, retaining people in the space comfortably. But every day it changes.
Oh, no doubt. That's probably the one constant, right?
That is the one constant. A week in Web3 is like 2 weeks everywhere, or 2 years everywhere else.
No doubt. Hey, Chris, welcome. Appreciate you being here. And yeah, Chris agrees that you basically got pirated for all in that situation there. Appreciate that. Jump in, FF.
No, I was just listening and learning more about you, and learn something new here about how centralized organizations kind of just took everything away from you, but then not only centralized but supposedly decentralized as well. I didn't know that about Justin Sun and Steam
Yes.
I think it was Steam It, and then they rebranded to Steam or something.
Well, Steam was the blockchain, and Steam It was their flagship application that was built on top of the blockchain.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that stuff, and I guess my question to you, because of what happened with Steam/Steam It, what do you think about proof of stake and a lot of blockchains like Ethereum that have moved to proof of stake, and then the ability for somebody with loads of money to come in and just take over? What are your opinions about that? Because I know we have a lot of miners.
It can be done. So 100%, and that is what's going to happen. Like, do you not think the likes of BlackRock and all, they're buying up the mining companies? Do you not think they're doing that for a reason?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to control. And obviously the governments want control in a certain way. And, you know, I'm all into conspiracies. Maybe we shouldn't be down that road too much. But Bitcoin had a fair mining process. There's other chains out there that have also had fair mining processes. And they're not proof of stake, they're still proof of work or proof of burn or proof of there's other consensus mechanisms out there that don't rely on proof of stake. So proof of stake would definitely not be one of my favorite.
Yeah, based off of your experience, I see that.
EOS tried it as well, and they were having 21 validators, and I don't think anybody after EOS even tried to implement something like that then, because that was such a flop.
Yeah, I definitely fear for Ethereum now. Fear for other, chains that have switched over to POS or that are using delegated POS. But no. And then you even mentioned like buying up mining farms, like the BlackRocks and the big wigs. That also scares me as well. And I think we as a community have sort of shifted to praising these big institutions for getting into crypto without, fully realizing the implications of that. Yeah. So I just wanted to mention that and just ask the question because it was what was going through my mind.
Yeah, I mean, for the financial institutions, I think, they see Ethereum as free money. Mm-hmm. We've got staking rewards. And as soon as the governments really kind of cop onto this, that, well, if we use this platform, we're actually earning money. It's not going to be, Ethereum is never going to be a people's platform. Right.
Yep. Well, in the US, when the first ETF applications got put in, ARC pulled theirs out once they realized the SEC wasn't going to let them earn staking rewards.
Yeah.
So there's an example exactly of what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's one of in the new regulations here in Europe for MiCA under the stablecoin regulations in MiCA is that if you're applying for regulation of your particular stablecoin, it can't be able to earn a yield.
Huh.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting. Wow.
Flies in the complete face of DeFi, if you ask me, but what do I know?
Totally. Staking will soon be declared as security here. It probably will.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Chris. I agree with you. I agree. Well, do you want to expound on that? Your thoughts with regard to where that's going, the future of that? I mean, feel free. I mean, you're in great company here. I'm all about the conspiracy theory.
There's lots of other new chains coming up, okay? And there's chains that are unheard of because they're unfunded. They don't have VCs behind them, okay? Now, I mentioned Hive there, and as I said, it's the best performing fork of any blockchain that's been forked because of the power of community, and the whole community went with it. Totally unfunded. There's no VCs involved in Hive. Now, it's not a top 100 token, but in 2017, Steam was a top 3 token.
Yes.
Oh, how times have changed. But they don't get the visibility because they're not. And when these bigger powers come in, they're going to make sure these smaller chains don't get the visibility. They're going to totally make sure of it. Hive is a brilliant example of a really, really good blockchain. But unfortunately, with liquidity being so low, you do have people like Justin Sun being able to come in and just buy it.
Yep. Yeah. We got Backward Miner in the house, and he's asking a question here. Maybe you want to jump in and put your 2 cents about that. He's asking the nodes, like the node projects that if Jar were here, he'd be talking about a little bit. But.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about node programs, to be honest with you. So I don't. And I wouldn't mind learning more.
So I can probably jump in here. I think this would be a little bit more different because there's really no vote here. I think the point of having tokens to run a node is really just to help stabilize the market itself. I think a lot of these projects that require you to purchase coin and then basically hold that coin in order to run a node are really just trying to help stabilize the price of the project. Because you don't need, like, for example, with Bitcoin, you can run a node, you can run a full node without having one Bitcoin, right? So it's just something I think that these projects have sort of latched on to try to make sure that their price doesn't fall to the ground. So then you buy some coin, you have it in order to run this node, but I don't think it's anything like actual like proof of stake. And that's just, based off of my experience. And of course, anybody in the chat can disagree with that, but I think they're like two totally different things. So I wouldn't relate those
like
those
the
things.
idea of cryptocurrency in the first place, was that not to reward miners, to give miners an incentive to be a good player in the ecosystem? Is that not what Bitcoin, that was why Bitcoin was released the way it was released?
Right.
Yeah, so it was to be a peer-to-peer payment system, but to distribute the token then. So it's really only a byproduct of blockchain. That's all crypto is.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, or at least the current iteration of the blockchains the way they are, anyway.
That's it. There's a very interesting blockchain out there that has a free-to-use model. It's called Koinos. It's another one, again, that doesn't have any VCs. There was fair mining at the start when they were building the fair launch. But again, no funding. And it's trying to help them break the barriers against the Ethereums and that all have this VC backing that's going to go. And then all these ETFs going in. We have ETF applications for Solana now.
Yeah.
Then it's us as a community that want decentralization that now have to go back out. And I think it's one of the reasons why memes on Bitcoin, the BRC20 tokens, the SRC20 tokens, inscriptions, runes, all that stuff that really had a great run in the last year.
Yes.
Because they all had fair release, they all had fair mining, and it was back to the original principle of how Bitcoin was released.
Right. Yeah, totally. And you mentioned Sol there as well, and I don't think a lot of the chat knows your experience with Sol. So I was wondering if you could touch on that, because we do have some Sol fans.
I am a big Sol holder as well. Okay, just disclosure, no financial advice, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Wait, let me help you with that. There we go. Not financial advice.
Not
there you
financial
go.
advice. The usual stuff. So I've had the pleasure of working with the Solana Foundation. I spent a long time advocating to the blockchains that, brilliant stuff. You're educating developers. There's developers coming out of our ears. It's brilliant. Do you know what they're able to do? Copy paste a project from one blockchain to another. Okay, and bring no innovation. What we need is end users. And it took me a long time to advocate this. I spent about 2.5 years pushing the blockchain foundations towards taking an approach that, look, we need end users as well as developers just testing each other's projects to copy them. And Solana funded me to create a course on Udemy that I would put up for free and make available for free across Udemy, that would just onboard and retain users in Web3. So it goes through the basics, setting up a wallet, what is DeFi, what are NFTs, what is the metaverse, all the usual kind of basic things that will really just help people get going. What are ecosystems, how to explore an ecosystem and all that sort of stuff. So I had great fun working with Solana doing that. And I really am hoping to be working with Solana again by the end of this year. But
nice.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be working with Solana again by the end of the year.
Nice. Congrats on that. That's new information too.
Do you know, it is interesting because now looking back, I actually realized, you know what, the foundations are right. They were right in not plowing huge money into educating end users. They actually were right. But now there's a responsibility on the DApp owners to pay that forward and educate end users. And it's now their responsibility. I really believe they have a social corporate responsibility here to educate new people on new technology. Whether they believe me or not, it's a different kettle of fish.
Well, I was about to say, do they really believe they do is the question. Because
well,
if they don't believe it, they won't do it, right?
In the ethos of Web3, there shouldn't be barriers to education. It was given to them. I mean, all the developers we have on Web3 were trained for free. There's no academic programs out there pushing out Solidity developers. We've done that as a community initiative. So we now need to, as a community initiative, take the next step and bring the next 10 million users into using all these great apps and these blockchains.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think a lot of the developers that are on these chains, not just Sol, when they're creating their dApps or when they're just creating their tokens, they're really just cash grabbing. So that's why, like, when you mentioned, okay, they're just copying and pasting and then they're done. I feel like there is a little obligation for them to not just cash grab, because of course they want to get paid for the work that they did or the work that they copied, but to also educate new users who, in my opinion, aren't institutional users, but are actually people who are interested in the chain, interested in the technology, interested in propelling it forward. So
there is loads of people interested.
Yeah.
If there wasn't that many people interested, like there's so many ambassador programs out there, and trying to get on them is hard because there's so many people that want to spread the word.
Yeah.
So there is lots of people that want to onboard more people. There is now. Even the meetup groups. So I run meetup groups. We run them online. They're open to everybody. You can find them on meetups.com. And the range of people that we get onto these, from 16-year-olds to 75-year-olds to investors to you name it, we have on. And there is a huge interest to learn. And they're coming to these communities to find out. That's where people are going to learn, is the same as where the developers went, communities.
Yeah.
Can if you don't mind, because I love the fact that that's what prompted me to start what I do, was to try, and now I want to share what I've learned, because I don't know, it wasn't easy for me to absorb it all. But how do you see that going forward with getting people, just the average person, not only to learn, but to share it?
Do you know, I think most people, when they start learning, they want to share it. And, the first piece of advice I'll give to somebody about sharing is never tell anybody what cryptocurrency to buy. Okay? Just don't do that. Bring them in, teach them, show them around. Never tell them, because no matter what happens, you're going to be blamed. When it goes wrong and they don't get out in time, you will be blamed. So first thing is never to tell anybody what tokens to buy.
It's good advice. It's good advice.
Yeah.
But after that, because, do you remember the first time you tried to use a bridge?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Remember how scary it was? I think one of the first bridges was from Ethereum to Polygon. And you were waiting about 40 minutes for this to happen.
Yep.
So we progressed since then. We've really, really progressed since then. We're still progressing. So anything we're teaching anybody now, we're not going to be teaching them the same thing in a year's time.
It's true.
We have social wallets coming on. We have account abstraction coming on. We didn't have all of that in the last bull run. in this bull run, you're going to have people signing up for wallets with their Google account and their email addresses. They're not going to be downloading seed phrases and this, that, and the other. That's all going to be hidden in the background.
Right.
We're going to have feeless systems. We're going, there's so much that's going to be changing that people just have to stay on top of it and realize, and because it's still changing and developing, that's why we're losing people.
Yep. Possible. Possibly.
Yep. No, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you don't do it that way anymore. What you do?
Yeah, it can be kind of hard to keep up.
Oh, what? Like, I remember the first time I used Solana, and I was just like, whoa, that's fast. Like now, if something isn't that fast, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm going to throw a Caspa plug in here, but that's how I feel about Caspa. Because it's so fast. Yeah, Caspa fast.
Daddy, yeah, I like fast.
Yep.
Yeah. So does everybody, really, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we had a couple more people jump in just to put it out there. 100 Air, welcome. Always love when you're here. Yes, I know you're driving. This man, he tunes in even though he's actually working as we speak here. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we
Nice
appreciate that. Cedric, welcome. Appreciate you. What did Chris just say?
I remember sending ETH. Oh, I feel your pain. I've made all of them mistakes.
Yeah.
We've all made all of them mistakes. And that's why we lose people. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's really not. I literally had a discussion with somebody who's trying to get into crypto mining, and he reaches out to me because he knows that I have a channel. He knows I've been in the space, and he asked me, I'm going to buy a KS0 Ultra today, and I'm wondering what cryptocurrency should I use? Should I use USDT to pay for it? And I said, I don't think so. If they offer Bitcoin as a way to do it, I would do that. And the only reason why I gave him that advice is simply because of what Chris said there. USDT can be found on many networks. So if he chooses the incorrect network, then that money is lost forever. But if he just picks Bitcoin, should be good to go, right? So, and I know Bitcoin has Lightning Network, it has all these other separate, but traditionally you send the Bitcoin, you're not going to be worried that it's going to be some wrapped Bitcoin being sent somewhere else. So, yeah, I mean, and then that education that we all know here, all three of us, if we can continue that to people who are interested in trying to get into the space, then I think we should be good to go.
But it's them little golden nuggets that you just shared there that are important. Mm-hmm. Somebody has to make the mistake before they realize that.
That's unfortunate truth. And Chris is advocating for Litecoin, and I love it because that's honestly, that's what I use. I save my Bitcoin, I use Litecoin because it's literally,
So I was really super hopeful for Litecoin there about 3 years ago when PayPal put it on their list.
Oh, yeah.
But then they never launched in Europe in the end.
Yep.
Which was really disappointing because with the tokens that they had in on their list, Litecoin was the obvious one to buy for, I can't afford Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Litecoin was the oldest. It was, it was just the most obvious one next to buy. And yeah.
That's unfortunate. But that's also, I feel like, I know that crypto is decentralized, but then when you look at a lot of these chains, like even Solana, right, where they hired you for educational outreach, they still have some centralized aspects to them. And that's where like Litecoin's marketing, whoever they used for their marketing kind of fell off and in their outreach program, because I feel like they missed the mark when trying to capitalize on the European market. So yes, the community can build that European market up, but then it kind of falls back on the chain a little bit. It's kind of weird. It's like they're decentralized, but then they're centralized. You guys catch my drift here?
Yeah.
Like it's just strange to me. But
yeah, look, isn't it one of the trade-offs? Decentralization, centralization, security, speed. It's in there with that trilemma.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It really is.
But they're hoping to have solved that trilemma on Bitcoin. So we have Bitcoin, which is the best, I won't pretend. And then we have Litecoin for speed. So we've Bitcoin for security, we've Litecoin for speed, and we now have stacks for smart contracts. So the three of them working together fairly fixes the trilemma.
Yep. And then there's other competitors out there trying to solve it in their own way too. And it's just a very interesting. I do believe we're still early in the space, even though we've been around well over a decade. But
we are still early. But the discussion of blockchain and blockchain adoption, we've actually gone beyond. We've gone well beyond. Blockchain is used everywhere now by companies and organizations. And look, I know blockchain wasn't made to be private blockchains and consortium blockchains, and I'm sure Satoshi will be fairly peeved off that lots of it has gone that way.
Yeah.
But everybody's using blockchain.
Right. Yeah.
So it's more Web3 adoption, keeping things, the ideology of Web3, because I don't know, by the time we get to Web3, we'd be really in Web20. The ideology of this decentralized world, and, send people like me, small people out there making a living on the internet, creators, we've got screwed by Web2. We've got screwed left, right, and center is the only way to put it. Yeah. And we need a new way of doing things. It's a total paradigm shift, and you're not going to shift people's mind frame. That's generational shift. That's not people going to shift. Like they say that, what is it, 12 to 15 years or something for technology to be taken on. But for technology adoption, but for mind frame changes, you're talking generations.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I agree.
100%.
That's what it is.
100% agree. Not to move from this topic, but to move from this topic and pivot. I kind of want to talk more so while we have you on a little bit more about like what you're doing currently.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think we've touched on that yet, because you are working for another chain. So if you want, you can discuss what you're doing with that chain.
I'm doing a few. Was this VeChain?
Yeah, this is VeChain. I'm alluding to, yes.
Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't too sure. So VeChain is a very super interesting project. Okay, it's backer is Louis Vuitton. Would you believe? A lot of people actually don't know that. So give a little bit of history on VeChain. VeChain was initially launched by Louis Vuitton as a solution. He built a private solution for tracking his goods for counterfeiting and stuff. And it was a private solution he built on blockchain. And because it worked for him privately, he went, oh, there's a market for this. And he released a public blockchain, VeChain. And it was all about product distribution, tracking, supply, counterfeit, all about all of this sort of stuff. And it didn't do too well. First bull run, it done great. After that, it didn't really live up to expectations. They got a huge amount of partnerships, but because they're Walmarts, they're normal businesses, nobody cares. It's not pumpometric, so it's not talked about as such. So Louis Vuitton has decided to pivot. And he's launching an app on top of VeChain, and it's called VBetter DAO. It's actually already live, and if you go on it, there is they're not live on mainnet, they're live on beta, and anything that you do on their beta, your tokens will carry forward onto mainnet.
The mainnet.
Yeah. So what they have is they're all about sustainability now and the environment, and they're doing it all under this one umbrella of a DAO that Louis Vuitton has backed and is financing. And basically, you join this DAO with an app idea of how we can make the world a better place. Okay, whether it be mental health, whether it be the environment, whether it be anything that's good with sustainability and keeping the world in a good place. And if you go and put your app in there, there's a DAO and it's voted for, and the rewards are split out between the dApps. And then the dApps split out the rewards between the users. So an example of some of the dApps that are up there, okay, there's one called CleanFi. And if you go out and you see a dirty area in your estate or your road, you take a picture of it, you clean it up, you take another picture, you share it on their platform, and they reward you with better tokens. There's another one up there for reusing mugs, that you bring your own coffee cup to a coffee store and you reuse your own mug. So there's lots of things going on over there, and they're all being funded. The DAO has been funded already by VeChain, and they're hoping to become the X to earn platform is what they're calling, is what they're pushing themselves towards now. So it'll be X to earn with all the different apps. So anybody with a DApp idea, anybody that wants to do something sustainable for the world, can go in there with a DApp idea, get funded, get it working, and yeah, help save the world.
Wow.
Nice. Sounds innovative. I like it.
It is innovative, and we have seen things like this before. And tokenomics wise, I would raise question with it. But the concept and the idea is really, really good. And what they're kind of hoping for is the likes of CleanFi will get local sponsorship as well. They won't always be relying on the DAO for funding. They can go and get their own fundings. I seen CleanFi up on Gitcoin for one of their funding rounds.
Okay, I'm familiar with Gitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah. So they can also go for funding and, you know, buy more tokens or do whatever they want with it. So yeah,
Nice.
Super interesting project going on over there. So I had them on our meetup group not too long ago. They've done a presentation to the meetup group. So as a community, we've decided to try and build a project and submit it into the idea. And myself as community leader, I'd be just facilitating the community do all this, help them do it. And yeah, we'll have our first project as a community then, which would be super exciting.
Yeah,
super
definitely.
exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And it'd be
Nice.
fully community ran. These are all native people that randomly come online to meet on a meetup and have a chat.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. I'm just
I-
thinking that's perfect. That's like the perfect use of this. That's
Yeah.
all I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, I mean, you stole it from me, but yeah, it is really the perfect use. It really is, and I know that you're really big on community. I hope that a lot of people saw when we had posted the link for Meetup as well. So A Block of Crypto is really, really big on community. So if you guys want, you can take a look at that meetup and see if there is a group near you, and you can discuss crypto. We all know it's not difficult to find community in crypto since we are online most of the time, but sometimes it's good to meet up in real life, right? And discuss these things.
So most of our meetups are actually online, so everybody can attend. We started them during COVID.
Okay.
Yeah. Because obviously there wasn't too much else to do during COVID. And they were just such a success, there was no need to stop them.
Nice.
So yeah, I think we must have ran in the Irish group, we must have ran about 150 meetups now. We now have we have a UK group, we have a Canada group, we have a group in India, we have a group in Spain, we have a group in Australia. I hope I haven't forgot anyone.
I'm sure they'll forgive you.
Yeah, right.
You'll be forgiven.
Right.
So, and it's all, and we just do it all for the greater of good.
That's good.
Nice.
Do you have any other questions, CCM, or?
Well, I do.
Okay.
Okay. So in order to build out this infrastructure, people need to be able to get into Web3 development. Can you talk a little bit about that? I know you put out a video showing people how to search better for these jobs, search easier for these jobs. But could you kind of expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, look, there's lots. If we focus in on jobs, there's lots. And I know lots of my community come because they want to move into Web3 in some form with their career. And I was on a think tank recently, an education think tank recently, and they'd done a huge survey of jobs over time. And that 5 years ago, the number of jobs, developer jobs, were 80% of the job market in Web3. And now they're only 40%. So now we have lots of community, we have lots of operational jobs coming in. What we're not seeing too much of is financial and legal yet, but all those background operations are all coming in. And the skill set that we're looking to try and give these people is literacy skills, because everything else that, you know, as an accountant, yes, there's going to be different standards, rules, regulations, but accounting is still accounting. Marketing is still marketing. Okay.
Right.
Finance, you know, they're all operations is still operations. They just need to understand new terminology and the ideology of Web3 and community, and how much community is going to be one of the driving forces for businesses moving forward. Like, we already know that online they tell you referral from one of your friends is worth much more than anything else.
Of course.
Yep.
It's going to be all that. The Web3 is all about that. It's all about community. So if people are looking for jobs, what I would really suggest is actually going to places like Gitcoin. Okay. There's Solana Superstars. If any of you are familiar with Solana Superstars. Solana Superstars is a platform for jobs basically on Solana, where lots of them, they're all contract based, and lots of them are non-technical roles. Okay. I'm jumping around the screen there.
No. We were having some technical difficulties in the background here, but
that's my fault. Continue. Don't worry about me.
So yeah, start with communities. No matter what your skill level is, go in to a community, join the Discord, join the Telegram, and be actively involved. Now,
Right.
Actively involved doesn't mean saying when, moon, and GM.
Oh, I hate that, but yes, I get you.
Yeah.
Actively involved means, hey, everybody, here's my skill set. How can I help you? What can I do for you?
Yep.
Somebody asks a question, jump in and try and help them. Reach out to the mods, tell them, here's my skill set. Is there anything going? Look for positions as ambassadors. Ambassadors are paying well. They may be in tokens, but quite often they can pay very, very well. So if you're new, try and get an ambassador role, because it'll get you the whole everything. You'll learn quite a lot as an ambassador as well. So for those looking for jobs, I'd give that sort of advice as well. But it's community led. It's very much community led. They're not looking for degrees and diplomas in Web3. There are no degrees and diplomas in Web3.
Yep.
That's interesting. I didn't think ambassadors got paid, and maybe it like depends on the project.
Lots of them do, yeah.
Okay.
Lots of them do. They just don't advertise that they do.
Okay, yeah.
And they would have other types of programs, like they'd have host meetup programs. Just do a local meetup in your area, like Solana Superstars. They'll pay you just to host a meetup in your area and do a once-off one. So you don't have to become a full-time ambassador. There's lots of programs like that are available for people just to get involved in, that aren't technical, that aren't able to set up mining rigs, that don't want to trade. There's plenty of other options.
Yeah, that was the reason why I was jumping around, because when you said Gitcoin, I had accidentally pressed the back button and then it kicked me out. And I was going to go on Gitcoin and like see like, I guess, who I could reach out to. But after this is over, I'm going to apply for some ambassador programs. Is it because of the money that you mentioned in the tokens? I'm going to be honest. Absolutely. Because I didn't know that you could get paid to do something that you like to do anyways, which is just talk about and spread, whatever chain that you enjoy to a new community of people. So I'm going to try. We'll see what happens. But
do try. Do try. It's worth it. It's worth it. There's a new one. If anybody's interested in no code, there's actually a new one. It's called No Code Clarity.
Okay.
It's a platform for obviously building with no code, but it's on the Stacks blockchain. It does smart contracts. It does backend. If you're a no code dev, it's hot to learn. And they have an ambassador application that they've literally opened, and they will be paying their no code clarity token to ambassadors.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nice.
Give that
So
a
they've
shot.
just released their token. They're a brand new release. They're upcoming. Is Solana stupid? No. Oh, maybe. Is Solana Superstars only UAE? It very much may be. I know they're UK based.
Okay. And that could just be because of the uncertainty around U.S. regulations.
Yeah, U.S. regulations, and
so,
exactly.
And that would make sense to me if it is only UAE or
not to mention VPNs.
Oh yeah, well, there's that. There's that, and then also if there's any sort of verification required as well. I mean, you guys, there's dual citizenship. You can also, I know there's ways where you can sort of get like a pseudo address in different countries as well. I won't go into those sort of details here because I don't know if they're the most legal things, but you can reach out to me offline if you're interested in sort of those dark net ways.
I'm
But
sure you could reach out to Sam Bankman-Fried as well.
Yeah,
because there's nothing else to do in jail, and he'll advise you exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, I bet you he'd answer.
Probably.
I'm going to try that just for the laugh.
Well, Chris is saying he's going to try and get it here, and he appreciates your, That's funny.
Oh, nice.
And he has family in Ireland. There you go.
Daddy.
There you go.
Daddy.
Some info. Nice.
Sadly.
Nice. Well, FF, I don't know. Do we want to slowly start to wrap this thing a little bit?
Yeah, we can slowly start to wrap it up. I think we have a decent amount of people still on. It kind of fluctuated from 10 to almost 20 there. I'm wondering if anybody on the chat here has any additional questions. I know we had questions as Paula was talking and discussing her experience in crypto, but here it is now. You got another 5 minutes to, fireside chat, throw out all the questions that you want to ask her. Otherwise, Paula, if you would like, if people are too shy to ask or they can't think of anything right now, how could they reach out to you?
Feel free to drop by the website, ablockofcrypto.com. You'll find links to all of the meetups on the website. All of the free courses are on the website as well. And drop into one of the meetups. I'm on them all. I host them all. Well, I don't host them all, but I'm on them all. Just drop in and say hi. It's a really welcoming community. No expectations from anybody except for to be nice. And just come on by and say hi.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's a little bit of the hesitation with people joining these meetups, is they're worried about what the response is going to be once they're in there. Maybe they don't know a lot about crypto, and do I really want to sit in on this? What would you say to people in that situation?
Yeah, look, don't worry. So it depends on how many people we have on the night, but sometimes we do breakout rooms so everybody gets a chance to talk, and everybody gets to meet each people. I mean, some people only come on the nights that we have presenters because they just want to see particular talks. Some people want to come on because they actually have a question. They'd like to see somebody show them how to use a bridge. Where can I go to see this? Just them sort of things. So you can keep an eye on our meetups page and you'll see what's coming up. If they're general chats, they're open for everybody's questions. And like I said, we've got people that know nothing to people that know everything. So somebody will be able to help you, no matter how silly you might think the question is. We've all made those mistakes. Don't make them. Come and ask.
Well, I was just going to say, my experience in a few of these has been everybody's very friendly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. We have a lovely community.
Good. Very good. It looks like we have a question from Chris. How do other countries look at the U.S. in regards to crypto, if we are leading or failing?
That's a really good question. And it's actually leading and failing.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Leading in terms of volume, but it's not leading in terms of numbers. So if you were to look at how many people are using the different applications, you'll find the user numbers in different areas are much higher than they are in the States. The high volume is coming from the States. This is why the States are able to impact the price movement so much. Look, regulations are coming.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a sham in the States when we look at the SEC and all, and we're like, are you for real?
Right.
And we do have a few people from that side of the borders that come in on the meetups, and we do have some good fun asking, like, why, why? And comparing stories of the different regulations around the world and why. But unfortunately, the whole crypto has to look to America because they're just so big and such a big powerhouse, and that's where the volume is coming from.
Yep. I would agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
If we want liquidity, that's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Right.
That looks like.
I'm just looking. I don't see any other questions in the chat. I don't know. Paula, wrap us up. What do you? Well, you don't have to wrap us up, but any last thoughts you want to?
No, look, thank you both very much for having me on. And look, I'm saying this to everybody, not just to both of you. If you ever have anything, just come and ask. You'll find me online. Like I said, you'll find me over on the website. You'll find me on the meetup group. Come and ask. Don't be afraid. And don't be afraid to try things. There's test nets.
Yep.
Try test nets.
It's good advice, actually.
That's great advice. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You're not gonna be breaking nothing. But
exactly.
You know, so we got a lot of people coming in. Thank you, appreciating the stream. I'm trying to get back into clicking these, but it's going so fast I can't keep up. So appreciate everybody. That was great. Excellent.
Good. I hope some people found value in it.
I think so. There was a lot of valuable information here, and if they go do some research, they'll find a lot more.
Exactly. Don't let the central organizations control us for much longer.
Please, no.
Yeah,
right. Can't take it anymore.
Right. Exactly.
Not
FF, you want to?
Don't buy Ethereum.
Not financial advice. What was that?
Oh, I was just gonna say, do you wanna wrap us up?
Yeah, sure. So, thank everybody who joins us on our little interviews, our little chats on these Tuesdays. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Paula, again. For making time. We have different time zones, much later over there now. You could be eating shepherd's pie probably, but unfortunately you're with two guys on the screen. So I appreciate that. And then CCM, as always, setting this up. We wouldn't have this without you, so I appreciate you as well. And I guess the last plug, this is more so for Paula, is if you guys have seen my video on the Excel sheet that I use to track my investments in Oasis and Caspa and how I'm going all in those two coins, etc. I got that Excel sheet from her. So make sure there's a link up there in the chat that goes to, I believe, her YouTube. I think it's there in the chat. But go to her YouTube. Take a look at that Excel sheet. It's an excellent Excel sheet.
It's on the website as well. If you go to the website under tool,
there you go.
It's on the website as well with full instructions and all on the website.
I was going to say, beside FF's video, I think you did an instruction video on it too on your YouTube channel. Yes.
Yeah.
So go there for the instructions. Make sure you subscribe to Paula, and I'm out. Peace, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care, everybody.